Hello, hello, it's the Curious Low back with another review. Now, today we're going to be looking at Zootopia. I actually saw this a couple days ago and life got in the way, so I never got the chance to actually film a review, but I still definitely wanted to get one out because wow, this was so good. And if you watch nothing else from this video, please, please go see this movie. It's so awesome. It blew me away. I personally went into this not really expecting much. I tend to be one of those people that just likes princess movies and that's it as far as Disney is concerned. So I always go in with lower expectations. I was also surprised with Wreck-It Ralph. But yeah, so I went in with very low expectations and wow, it blew me away. And I think thanks in large part to just the strong directing of this movie. The screenplay was amazing and funny and appropriate for children, but also dealt with some really tough topics, and I think in a really great way that not everybody could have pulled off, especially because we've seen different ways that people have tried to pull these topics off and completely crash and burn because they don't understand the complexity of the situation. And this definitely looks at the complexity of specifically racism and a little bit of like women's rights as well as kind of thrown in there. And I was blown away at the sincerity and the respect that was given to these topics. All right, so getting out of all of the seriousness, we also just have a really fun movie. It's funny. I was laughing so much. I cried more than once, which is not really saying anything for me, but it still happened. And I think a lot of that has to do with the voice acting. Ginnifer Goodwin, who you may know from ABC's Once Upon a Time as Snow White, played Judy Hopps, who is our protagonist, and she wants to be the first bunny cop, and it was just adorable and sweet, but at the same time, she does not take no for an answer. She is willing to work for what she wants. And then we have what could have been a very kind of just one-dimensional, like funny sidekick in Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman, that was so much more than that. They could have kept him as just sort of the like, well, here I am, like making things funny, but he has depth to him as well, and they both have really believable character arcs. And the background characters as well, just amazing. Even the short ones that you hardly see have some really great moments, and you're really sucked into the world. Now, I would never forgive myself if I did not at least bring in the beauty in this movie. Wow, the scenery and the world is just so fully realized, and they really spent a lot of time making Zootopia into a fully realized world, and you can tell by just the background work and just little one-liners about how they know exactly how this city works. And I, for one, walked out wanting a sequel. I'm so excited to see where they go with this property, and I can tell that there's a lot of passion that went into this project. Now, I don't want this to just be a gush fest. I don't think it was necessarily a perfect movie by any means. I will say that the thing that I think most people who find something to dislike about this movie will dislike the tones that I was sort of talking about earlier that have to do with specific race relations and women's rights and just prejudices in general. I think that they personally handled it very maturely and looked at it from many different sides and didn't just try to make it too preachy. But I think that some people will definitely cry like, preachy movie, oh, it's just trying to like sell a certain point, how political. I don't think that, but I could see how that could be the case. If you are somebody that can be easily offended by certain topics like that, I would at least go in prepared to have that on the screen, to be watching a movie that does deal with those topics. It's not just a fun Disney romp. There is some thought that goes into the movie as well. All right, so that's it for Zootopia. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie if you've seen it. If you hadn't, again, I can't recommend it highly enough. I really do think that it is one of Disney's best movies recently. So go out and see it. Hopefully next week I will be seeing the Cloverfield sequel, and I'll try and get a review up to you sooner than a couple days late. Hopefully I'll try and get it out to you on Thursday and Friday. So until then, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.